Afternoon everyone. So today we're at a Mercedes. I think this is the Mercedes Vito 2010. I think this is it's a diesel engine. Know that matters here, so I'll show you the codes. 2006 diesel, the W639 Viano. So we'll go yes. Now as far as I'm aware there's a charging problem with, well, sorry, the battery light stays on the dashboard when the engine's running, but it's putting out 14 volts. So we're going to do a code scan and see if it comes back. So this is with the van running. The first light to appear immediately was the glow plug light, and after 30 seconds the battery light came on. So we'll read the codes. So we're going to do a voltage test just to confirm that the alternator is indeed charging. No, the alternator is not charging. 12.27. So there's no... Right. But once we gave it a rev, we're now up to 14 volts. And battery light's still on. So you've seen that. When the car starts it just goes to 12 volts, but you've got to give it a rev. Then it goes to 14. But we're back at 12 again, according to this scan tool. The scan tool says we've got 12, but the multimeter says we've got 14. Your report.
Still 14.
So common rail cylinder. Right, so need two glow plugs. G27. So that G27 means it's an alternator with LIN bus communication fault. We've also got a fault in the electronic ignition. Electronic ignition switch. The control unit is faulty. I wouldn't think an N4073 is anything to do with it. SAM acquisition. Stored in current. Back up.
You better clearing the faults.
Oh, that's what I was got to do, my man. Fault can. What can communications are you doing here? So let's escape out of that. Quick erase. Let's see what comes back. So we cleared all the faults, and your one that comes back, which it said it's stored in current, is a 2263-1 G2/7 alternator with LIN bus communication fault. So I think we need to look at the wiring in this to see where that goes, to see if there's a split in the wiring. I've just started the van back up again and it's 12.32, but when you rev it, it then ups its voltage to 14, so I don't think it's communicating via that LIN bus wire down to the alternator, so I think we need to track that. Let's track the wire. Just a quick look at the wire. Someone's been here. Oh dear. Look at this. So I think we're after, I think it's a blue and yellow. It's down at the alternator. Whether it changes colours or not when it comes in, I don't know. See if it looks nasty. We've connected down into the alternator. There's only one wire. It goes to the computer, so you can see they've got 12 volts, so that rules out our wiring. So let's go and start that. Will you start it, George, and see if it kicks in. So the problem with that is there's no any communication, so let's go into the lab scope. Back to that lab scope. Volt DC. Nothing. So you can see that it's set at 12 volts. That's just battery voltage. Need a proper wiring diagram to solve this one. Cheers. That is key off, engine off, right? So if we then go and put the key on, you can see there's some form of communication taking place. Watch this. So there we go. Look, that's trying to communicate. But I thought a LIN bus went further down than that. So let's disconnect the multi-plug and see how it communicates with key on, engine off. Right, what we've done now is we've disconnected the multi-plug but leaves it back probe, and we're going to see what the communication signal's like now. Ignition off, key off. We've got 0. Look at that, that's an ugly looking signal. So, we did have got a communication fault. It must be within the WAN. So, what we're going to do is disconnect half the module and see where this communication comes from. Try that, George. Give me a see this, lad. So that's ugly. See the bits there? Shouldn't be like that. Should be nice squares. Right. So you disconnect that half of the module that we think it's in. And let's just track where this wire is. So that's with the alternator, the plug at the alternator unplugged.
Are you ready?
Right, lad. So he's going to disconnect half the ECU. So that's it, went flat. So George just went and disconnected that multi-plug there. So the communication must take place within there. So we'll get George to put it back in. Right, George. So we've got hash. I wouldn't even say that's high resistance. I'm scratching my head here. Right, I need to think about that one. Right. So I went up to the wire in this box, which is yellow and blue, and you can see that we've got a totally clear signal. So it's good up here, but it's ugly down the bottom there. So that's, let's see. So what I think we're going to do here, I think maybe if we cut this wire and bypass it and go down to the bottom there, see what that does. We'll see if it's going into the loom. Right, George, look it up there, lad. That's what it should look like. So he's good. So we'll cut the wire there, cut the wire there, and just put a bypass in and see if that works, because that's good. So there's another point we tested it at, and there's what it looks like there. Here's the fix. So we're up at the computer and we've got that yellow and blue wire. So all we've done, we cut the wire and we ran it right into the top here where it goes over this vacuum pump. So there you can see the blue and yellow wire. So we've done a bypass, so we're going to tidy that up. So the problem is somewhere within this loom. Now this is just, I would say this is a temporary bypass, but it's got to be a permanent one. Because to go into that loom, it runs through, this has had the Black Death, so the oil's been getting into that loom, everything, it's a mess. So we're just going to leave it like this, tidy up the wire and leave it this. Now this is no ideal solution, because you will have problems further down the line with wiring issues. There must be a wiring issue within that loom. But the car is going fine at the moment, and the customer's not willing to pay any more. So we'll leave it at that, tidy up the wiring, and we're good to go. And we're now charging at 14 volts, and that code has disappeared. Anyway, there's a solution. Take a read of that light. Cheers. So there you go. The air mass meter's disconnected, but you can see the code has no longer returned. So we're good.